Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Plough Lane. Welcome to Don's TV for the first home game of the 2023-24 season. League Cup, Carabao Cup action. AFC Wimbledon versus Coventry City. The 1988 FA Cup winners against the 1987 FA Cup winners. I am Nick Draper. I am joined to my left by Rob Boyce.
Good evening.
And Reeves Fletcher.
Good evening.
And we have team news for you straight away. And I think I've made it 5 changes to the side that started against Grimsby on the weekend in the 0-0 draw. Nick Zanev comes in goal, Lee Brown in at left back, James Ball into midfield, as well as Harry Pell in an attacking midfield role. Ali Al-Hamadi gets a start, Josh Davidson and Omar Bugil given a rest this evening, and Aaron Sassu as well, making his, I believe, his first team debut.
That's correct.
Coming in as well for Josh Nerville. So, first impressions of the lineup there. Reece, is it more changes than you were expecting?
I think it's the right changes, to be honest. It's good to see Sassu in the squad. I think he's performed really well in pre-season. I said to myself, I think he's going to be one of the players which will break into the squad. And yeah, he's played well, 100%.
Robert, we've got him lined up in sort of more of a 4-2-3-1 as opposed to the 4-4-2 we saw on Saturday. Do you think that is how we're going to line up, or would you expect Sassu or Harry Pell maybe to push a little bit more forward, maybe partner Al-Hamadi up front?
You know what, I think it's going to be a 4-4-1-1. To be honest with you, I think in position it will look like a 4-2-3-1 when we're attacking, but I think when we're on the defence we're going to have 2 banks of 4. Harry Pell as the number 10 trying to win the long balls, and then Al-Hamadi doing his thing up front, breaking on the counter-attack.
Yeah, well, we saw on Saturday the pace that Ali brings on the counter-attack. He won as a penalty, unfortunately didn't convert it, but we still came away with a great point, I thought, at Grimsby on the opening day, 0-0 draw. And I believe Stu is our director. We have no, we don't. We don't have highlights just yet of that 0-0 draw. Instead, we're going to go to, as you can see, our captain for this evening, Jake Reeves, making his first start in a Wimbledon shirt at Plough Lane today. And we caught up with him in the week. This is what he had to say.
Tell us more about how the move came about, if possible.
Very, very quickly. A couple of the Stevenage lads had worked with Gaffer before, so I knew that there was a bit of interest before the end of the season. Apparently he'd asked and said what's Reevesy doing sort of thing next year. I quite like him, and they obviously told me that the Gaffer's a good guy and whatnot. And as soon as the last ball was kicked, I had a phone call literally the next day from my agent saying, look, there's been an offer put on the table already. And I was like, oh, okay, who from? And he said Wimbledon, because he knows my relationship with Wimbledon anyway. And I was like, just quite surprised that it came about so quick. But then we went on our end of season do. We went to Marbella with Stevenage. So obviously that cooled down for that period, because I couldn't really see my phone, let alone answer anything. So when I got back, it was a case of just thrashing out the personal terms, and it was done basically. I didn't even bother looking anywhere else.
You, for me, are the complete number 4. How have you changed as a player of the past 6 years? What have we missed, and what can we look forward to seeing in Jake Reeves, who's come home?
I still think I've got flashes of what I would have been like when I was originally here. Obviously the game's different, the game's changed, obviously managers play you in different roles. But I think calmness, being able to organise as well, I think I've massively learned over the last few years. Organisation off the ball, on the ball even, how the managers want you to play. I always feel like in the middle of the park you're kind of responsible for that, because you are the linchpin for both sides. You're linchpin for the back to the front. So you can make a real big difference on that. And if that's calm in there, then I feel like everyone else will be calm. I think if it's erratic and it's not composed, people are making rash decisions, then I think it really, really affects every single other department in the football pitch. So composure, I'm always going to want to get on the ball. If we're playing long, it's organisation, it's getting the second balls, it's playing in the right areas. But you still, if allowed to or played in a different way, I'm still going to get up and down, still going to run about, I still feel good. So yeah, hopefully a bit of everything.
Tell us what you found coming back to this football club, because there's been a sea of change. It's been a mad 6 years, the roller coaster ride up into League One, back down into League Two, a new stadium, what feels like a refreshed training facility as well, new faces. It's a different Wimbledon you're at.
Yeah, it is. The first thing I noticed is obviously how far the club has come off the field. So the new stadium, for example, is obviously amazing for the level. It's outrageous. Looks incredible. Anyone who comes, even Portsmouth boys last night, they got one of the oldest stadiums. You know, they've got so many fans. You can see them looking around when they come to the ground, like, "Cool, this is ledge, isn't it?" Like, do you know what I mean, none of them have been there probably. And so off the pitch, how far it's come along, but it still feels like the same club as well. I think they've done really well to maintain how the club was built, the foundations, what it's built on, even though it's moved forward.
What's life outside of football like for Jake Reeves?
Very chilled out.
Family?
Yeah. I got a little 4-year-old boy. I've got 2 sausage dogs, which are quite young. We've got one called Mabel and one called Hugo.
Can I just say I'm gutted? One's not called Lala, one's not called Bayo, or one's not called.
Yeah, I don't think my missus would have cared too much for that, to be honest. I didn't get to choose any of those names. But yeah, it's quite chilled out. I live in a little village in just next to Swindon. So yeah, once I get home, it's very, very chilled and relaxed.
Is it nice to be in and around London and South London once again? You're a Lewisham boy. You was born there. You come through Brentford, South London, South West London is what you know.
Yeah. The one thing that I've learned, obviously, since I then moved up north, I did move back when I was at Stevenage. I was back in Dartford. I was back down that way, so I was like, see me mates, see me mums, you know, all that. And then my missus obviously is from Swindon way, so we decided to move back to her way. She's moved her life for me for a good few years, so we've moved back that way. The one thing I don't miss is traffic. Now I get no traffic, like literally nothing ever. And then the only time I get traffic is if I'm leaving here. But yeah, being back home, it makes it a lot easier for me to go see my family as well. So it's nice.
Will it be easier for them to get to Plough Lane as well? Will it be more convenient?
The journey on the train's not too bad actually to Stevenage, but this is a lot easier. Like for me as well, I'm already on the way back. This is like en route sort of thing going back down, so it's perfect.
Bit of a different ground from the Lamex as well, isn't it, Plough Lane, for your family? I hope your mum enjoys the hospitality and enjoys what a stunning stadium this football club
it's amazing, has. Yeah. Like they've done so well as a player as well. Like, obviously, we had a great year last year, but could you imagine having a great year in a stadium like what we've got now? How good that'd be? How the buzz, the fans, like you said, the hospitality areas. You know, the club's completely moved forward.
What are your objectives for this season as Jake Reeves, Wimbledon's number 4, Wimbledon's holding midfielder, and as AFC Wimbledon as a football club? What do you feel the drive is, the passion is? Well,
obviously, when I left here, it was in League One, so the idea is in my period of being here is to put that club back into where it should be.
That it?
That's my objectives, and hopefully I can stay here as long as possible.
I love it. My man knows what he wants. I'm going to end this chat, Jake, with a rapid fire. They say that when you give someone no time to think about things, that's when the truth comes out. So I want you to tell me the first thing that comes into your mind when I ask you these questions.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Full name?
Jake Kenny Reeves.
Age?
30.
Position?
Centre midfield.
You've passed the warm-up. Who is the best midfielder ever?
Ever? Yeah. Iniesta.
Scariest footballer ever?
Scariest. I got knocked out by David Luiz when I was young, and he still haunts me.
The hair, or just?
No, just the fact that he took my nose clean off my face.
It looks good now. Best stadium you've ever played at?
I love Sheffield United's ground.
Who's your best friend in football?
Lyle Taylor.
Who is the one footballer the streets will never forget?
The streets will never forget. Akinfenwa.
What is your karaoke song?
I always sing Build Me Up Buttercup.
If you weren't a footballer, what would you be?
I did a course to do basically like physiotherapy and stuff like that.
Who's your favourite midfield partner?
Midfield that I've ever had?
Yeah.
It's got to be Bully, innit?
Who would play you in the movie of your life?
I would like Ryan Gosling, but he's probably a little bit too tall.
Who's your backup?
For height reasons, probably Danny DeVito.
Who is the best Wimbledon player you've ever played with?
Best Wimbledon player I've ever played with? Lyle.
Your favourite Dons moment?
Mine was the Accrington run for Lyle's goal.
Really?
In the semi-finals of the playoffs. That's my one. Obviously winning it, but if a single moment in a game, that was my favourite. Nice.
Jake Reeves. Impressive as ever. I would expect nothing else from a man of your calibre. Thank you so much for joining us on the inaugural official AFC Wimbledon podcast. It's been a pleasure. We cannot wait to see you strutting your stuff properly in the league at Plough Lane.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers.
And welcome back to Don's TV. That was Jake Reeves talking to the 100% official AFC Wimbledon podcast last week to Aaron and Paul. Jake, of course, our captain this evening. We've now been joined by Hannah Billingham of the AFC Wimbledon team.
Hiya.
And Hannah, how are you doing? Pre-season going all right so far for the ladies?
Yeah, it's been a strong pre-season actually. We've had 4 games now, going into our 5th on Sunday, and then the league starting the week after. But it's been a good pre-season, yeah.
Who have you got on the opening day? Who's the opening day?
So we've got Worthing away
Okay.
for our first game of the season. They actually got promoted into our
Yeah, I
league.
was going to say, I don't recall you playing
Yeah,
last season.
that's it. So they've just come up, but they'll be a strong side. I think they'll probably be sort of top 5
Okay.
for the league, definitely.
That's a nice away day for the opening day. Nice
Yeah, it
down
will
to
be.
Seaside, down to the coast.
Yeah, in the summer, it'll be nice.
It'll be great. Well, we've got some comments already. Sorry, Lewis. Unfortunately, no, we're not showing the game on here either. I'm not sure how you can watch the game this evening. Reece, do you have any ideas?
No.
No, be at Plough Lane is the only option, I think.
Yeah.
This evening, I'm afraid, with the League Cup. But anyway, it is what it is.
I'm doing highlights.
And the highlights on ITV at some point, I'm afraid. But cool. So, Hannah, we were just talking before you went. Oh, actually, we'll save that for a moment because on the screen we can see this is some behind-the-scenes footage of you taking part in our kit launch.
That's right,
New
yeah.
kits for the new season, new Umbro kits with. Who are you with? Was it Ali and?
It was Josh and Omar.
Josh and Omar.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
first time I'd met them. Brilliant guys actually, but we had a fun time. I think it was quite nerve-wracking, especially for me at the start. I think we did their away kit to begin with.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm not a natural poser or anything, especially when we had to do the serious faces.
I was going to say it's all looking very mean and moody there, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
that was the idea for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I prefer the smiling stuff, to be
I
honest.
was going to say I wouldn't want to come across 3 of you of an evening with those faces on. What do you think of the new kits?
I love them.
Yeah?
Yeah, as soon as
Yeah.
I saw them, they're brilliant.
Home or away?
I'm actually home. That's my preference. I love them both. I love the white as well, but yeah, probably home kit's my favourite.
So do you get the? We obviously you did both. You did the home and the away, the new white shirt as well. We've also got the third kit. I don't know if you're not involved in that, but that's been getting a lot of praise. I know it's the same colour scheme as last year's.
It was brilliant last year when it was released as well.
The colour and everything like that.
Yeah, so the women's team, we can't actually play in that because it's too similar to the refs. So
Oh,
we don't, unfortunately,
okay.
get to play in it. And it's one of the nicest
We
kits.
didn't. No, it wasn't thought through. It is very nice, but they're all very nice, and obviously it does look like. There you go. You have a smile now. I'm having a lot more fun
I
with
was
it.
allowed to smile at that one,
There
yeah.
you go. It's all good. Training stuff as well. You've got new training gear on as well. It seems like we've got a good load of merchandise in this season.
Yeah, the Umbro kit as well. It just fits really nicely. It's I think for the women's team, it's important that we get like the nice fitting stuff, and it's been perfect. Yes, we've all given it praise this season.
All good. You've got a few new signings as well this season, I understand, for the new season. Talk
We
to some of
have.
those. I see a Lucy Porter. Is that right?
That's
Joining
it.
today.
Yeah. So newest sign is Lucy Porter. She's a brilliant midfielder. Getting on really good with the girls. I think she'll be good in the changing room, and then on the pitch she's quality. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And then I guess we were talking beforehand, before we come on air, very briefly, about trying to get up out of this division. Made somewhat tricky about the fact there's only one promotion place, and that still is the case. Who are our sort of rivals? You said you think Worthing will have a good season, perhaps maybe not.
Could be.
top.
They
Could
could
be,
be up
okay.
there. I think Norwich will be up there.
Right. Big club.
Each season they've been getting stronger. They always give us a good game. Big club. They get good support there as well at the games. So Norwich will be up there, and I think London Seaward will be somewhere up there as
Who was
well.
that, sorry?
London Seaward.
Oh yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
I think the women's team got quite unlucky last season. 100% actually beat hashtag 4-0 when they came first and got promoted. So
Yeah, that's it.
hopefully promotion this season.
Yeah, I think it's given us fire in our bellies to get that promotion, get that top spot. But we'll take every game as it comes to get the 3 points.
And what's the situation? So Carshalton Athletics as well, still as a sort of main home ground. Hopefully get a couple of games down here as well. Is that the plan as it stands?
Yeah, so I've heard we're going to have around 8 games at Plough
wow.
Lane this
Okay.
season.
That'd be
That's
great.
what the talk is. I don't know if I was meant to say that or not, but yeah, I'm hoping we get 8 games here because we love playing here. The atmosphere is amazing. It's obviously in Wimbledon, so you get a few more supporters than that. But yeah.
And do you know who's your first home fixtures with? So Worthing away on the opening day.
Yeah, and then our first. I don't even know.
Okay.
I should have looked that up. Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine, but I'm assuming
Oh,
that's the week
QPR
up.
is at home.
QPR.
QPR,
Oh, wow,
yeah.
that's another big
There you
game.
go.
Okay, so
Yeah.
big game coming up. And the last friendly you said is this Sunday.
This Sunday, London Bees we've got.
Okay, and that's whereabouts is that?
That'll be at home at Carshalton.
Carshalton.
Yes,
London Bees,
yeah.
2 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah.
2 o'clock. There you go. So if anyone's interested, of course, Carshalton Athletic this Sunday 2 o'clock final pre-season friendly of the year for the ladies. Well, Hannah, thank you very much for chatting to us.
Thank you.
All
Cheers.
the best for the season ahead. We hope
Thank
you
you.
have a great season as much as the men have a great season.
Yeah.
Men started off with a good point away at Grimsby on Saturday, and we'll get into some highlights now from Blundell Park.
Grimsby Town look to build on a top half finish in their first season back in the EFL. The season ended with a 1-0 home win against today's opponents, AFC Wimbledon, who have made wholesale changes after a catastrophic second half to last season. Just 1 win in 19 league games. 7 debutants for Grimsby. They've made a few changes themselves. Abo Issa was with Bradford last season. Danny Rose with Stevenage. They come into the club. AFC Wimbledon also 7 debutants in the starting lineup, including Ryan Johnson and Joe Lewis, who were part of the Stockport County side that reached the League 2 playoff final at Wembley back in May. Grimsby Town corner. To the AFC Wimbledon fans. It's played deep. Not quite the execution they were. Markey. And Louisa. Curling. I'm afraid to have a go. Good win in the air from Johnson. Into the penalty area. It's a good cut back and firmly struck behind for a corner. This corner is deep. Hangs up high. And he very nearly crept in at the back post. It was a good save in the end for a breakthrough so far. High though, Vernon. Good ball in. It was just too high. It was too high for the goalkeeper, Alex. Just across from Ugandera. At the back post, but heading it over the crossbar. Headed in and headed away. Forceful. Took really well. On for range. That's a good save. Alex Bass. Corner comes in deep. AFC Wimbledon equal to it, holding on for that points away from home. Maybe they could go for 3. A bit of fortune in the way that they've come forward, and this is a chance. And down goes Ali Al-Hamadi and hits a penalty. And for all their hard work, Grimsby Town could find themselves behind here. His pace takes him on the last defender and he's brought down. 10 and 14 at the back end of last season for Al-Hamadi. But the goalkeeper gets right. Good save from Jake Eastwood, and he keeps the rebound out too. And it remains 0-0. Biggest moment in the game so far. And the go-to man who had to start on the bench because of an injury has missed the penalty and unable to guide the rebound in. Through the middle, it's a good chance. Oh, off the post. Abu Issa, really good turn. And then this shot, low and hard. This time the goalkeeper's beaten. Good save. Curling effort. Once again. One little. Now, see Wimbledon on the attack, on the counter. They call 3 points against all odds. The dying embers of the game. Comes that delivery. And there goes the final whistle. No goals, a point apiece at Blundell Park on match day 1. The final score, Grimsby Town 0, AFC Wimbledon 0, and a point apiece.
Alright everybody, welcome back to Plough Lane. I've jumped into the shot. We went ultimately, Rob Boyce has come out. We were trying to get you a view of the players warming up, but it didn't quite go to plan. But there we go, you can see over my shoulder just about. I'll take a step to my right. You sort of see the players warming up there. A glorious sunshine at Plough Lane Wednesday evening. AFC Wimbledon versus Coventry City in the first round of the League Cup. Stu is our director today. He was about to give us a rundown of fixtures because we are a day later than the majority. Coventry started their league season on Sunday away at Leicester on Sky, so that's why games been pushed to this evening. But we're not the only ones. There's half a dozen other League Cup, Carabao Cup fixtures this evening, and I'm not going to lie, Rob, don't really care about any of them.
No, there's not any standout fixtures from there for me. The only one interesting stat I have is 8 championship sides went out last night, so be interesting to see how many championship sides go out tonight.
Yeah, I saw Gillingham beat Southampton, which is a bit of an upset.
Yep.
That was the one that stood out to me, but yeah, I mean, nothing major there, but I think we all want to focus on ourselves. Coventry, who started the season, as I said, at Leicester on Sunday, came away with a defeat.
Yep.
They actually took the lead and lost, so, stealing our gimmick on that one. But we would want to build on that impressive point. I thought it was an impressive point at Grimsby. I know it's a hard place to go opening day of the season. Team's always up for it. I think we'll be very happy with that. We just saw the highlights. Could have nicked all 3, and with the penalty saved. I mean, ignoring the penalty aside from that, a few good saves from Alex Bass making his debut for us as well.
Really impressive.
Yeah, seemed to be impressed. It seems like we were set up to be very solid and try and hit on the break, and I think that's probably going to be our tactic this evening.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're definitely against a tough Coventry side tonight. Like I said, I think it'll be 2 banks of 4, and then trying to hit them on the counter-attack with a pace. That might be also why Aaron Sassu starts tonight. He's got bags of pace to offer on that right flank, so be interesting. And yeah, against Grimsby, I'm happy with a point away. Obviously, you want to take all 3 with the penalty, but you score some, you miss some. It's the nature of the beast. But look, clean sheet, something to build on going into the first home game on Saturday, and also we've got a game tonight.
Yeah, we've got Wrexham visiting here on Saturday. There's the team again for you.
I reckon Sassu's going to play wide right. I don't know. I'm just going from previous.
That is the voice of Stuart Deakins you can hear telling us that this is what we've gone for. But Sassu playing blindfolded as well, which might be a bit tricky for him. But we'll see how he gets on. James Tilley's a new player, not had a great deal about him. What do we think about what he's going to offer us this season?
I was really impressed with him against Grimsby, very direct. It's nice seeing him cutting on his left foot from the right flank. It'll be interesting to see if he lines up on the right hand side or left hand side. Stu's graphic seems to indicate he might be starting on left hand side, and see how he gets on there. I believe he won player of the season at Crawley last season, so they were disappointed to lose him. So yeah, it looks like a bright signing, great prospect for us, and like I said, I'm excited to see him today in a competitive match.
The thing is, I reckon also Harry Pell could play up alongside Al Hamady.
We've got no idea what you're saying, Stu.
So I think we could play Al Hamady upside. Sorry, Pell upside.
Right.
I reckon it could be a 4-4-2.
Okay. And with that, the 2 centre halves, Johnson and Joe Lewis. Alex Pearce dropping out, having played on Saturday. I suppose maybe comes back in Saturday, and maybe 3 games of the week. Maybe asking a bit much of him at this point in his career, but first opportunity we get to see the 2 new centre halves playing together, playing alongside each other.
Yep.
And again, what was you saying? Solid starts on Saturday for the pair of them. And hopefully they build on that again.
Well, especially considering Johnson played out of position in left back.
Yep.
So he's back in his natural position tonight. We only let him 1 goal in pre-season, so they look solid together. But they played together at Stockport, so they'll have a good understanding. So yeah, it makes sense. Pearce drops out tonight with fixtures Wednesday, Saturday, and once the league starts, it'll be Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. So not surprised to see rotation.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just say teams have just gone in, haven't they? So it's been obviously our new view, isn't it? It's quite nice here. We're very close to the away fans, which is going to be concerning when we start winning games.
I'm saying absolutely nothing.
Don't jinx it, true.
No, I'm not going to get myself into trouble on the first show of the new season.
But you're right what you're saying, there was quite a few championship teams went out last night, wasn't there?
Apparently so.
And I suppose we have to warn that it does go straight to penalties tonight, I believe.
Yeah.
After 45 minutes of injury time.
Let's not get. Could you imagine if we did have extra time on top of the new injury time rules, Stu? You might as well get a bed and set up camp for the night because we won't be going home anytime.
And there's 9 subs. I'm doing this deliberately just to wind Nick up.
Yeah.
There's 9 subs to choose from tonight.
I was turning my back to you.
I didn't know we had 9 subs to choose from tonight. Is there?
You only could do 5. You can
Okay.
choose from in the Championship now. You can have 9 subs on your bench.
Yeah.
So I think the Carabao Cup are doing the same as well.
I don't think I've seen a graphic for the subs. So have we named 9 subs on the bench, or
We have.
Yeah.
We will get the subs. I will get the subs for you.
Yeah, we haven't had the subs list as yet, but what
Yeah.
I will say is we probably haven't got enough seats for them all in the dugout anyway, so they might be coming to take a seat near you if you're at Plough Lane this evening and watching us on your iPhone or your tablet or mobile device of choice.
This is great TV, by the way. We're just trying to find
This is. I was going to do, before we get into it, because you've got a nice video to finish up with before kick-off this evening, but before we did that, I just wanted to sort of get an idea, Rob, of a scoreline prediction, what sort of expectations for this evening. It's cups, so obviously you want to go and you want to win, we want to have a run of the cup. We've not got a great record in the League Cup since the turn of the millennium, to be honest with you, but realistically, not expected to win.
Nope.
So what do we want to take from this evening, if anything?
I think one of the main things is another 90 minutes under our belt, get through injury free, and look, if we can take the game to penalties or scrape a narrow win, be happy. Coventry have gone out in the first round in the last 5 attempts, so can they make it 6th time, or will they overturn
They're
that
in good
run?
company then, because we do the same, don't we?
We do, yep. So someone's got to go out tonight, so will it be
we
us
did
or
have that
them?
run, didn't we? We got to the played Arsenal, didn't we, in the 3rd round?
We did get to the
Beat
third round
Northampton, didn't we?
a couple of years ago, but I don't think we've won a League Cup fixture at home since, as AFC Wimbledon. So
I remember we played West Ham in the Carabao Cup before we played them in the FA Cup.
Yes,
That was same
and we
season,
lost.
wasn't it?
Yeah, same season. They beat us that night.
Was that 2nd or 3rd round?
2nd round,
Yeah.
but we won at Portsmouth in the 1st round. So we've not actually won at home, as it were.
It's interesting that you can get Premier League teams in the 2nd round of this. You know, it's a big incentive. I know the Carabao Cup draw is being made before we kick off tonight, so it'll be interesting to see who's in the hat.
There are some giants in the Premier League: Bournemouth, Brighton, Brentford, Luton, big clubs.
Don't know about Luton, Nick.
So just quickly, subs tonight, quite a strong bench. So Alex Bass, reserve goalkeeper, sub goalkeeper, Alex Pearce, Ethan Sutcliffe, Amani Little, Morgan Williams, Josh Nerville, Ryan McLean, Josh Davison and Omar Bugel.
So
it's a strong bench.
Morgan Williams on the bench, of course. We must speak about Alfie Bendel. Of course, that's the news that we got today, that he has departed on a permanent move to Forest Green Rovers. So just we have a moment's reflection for him, because he's not eating meat for another year at least, and sad times for Alfie.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing to see him leave, because he's got so much potential. But with the way things have been going here recently and the turnover of squad, we've got Reeves, Ball, Little in centre midfield. We've got options, and he's just going to find himself down the pecking order. So probably best of luck to him. Go Forest Green, and hopefully he can kick on with his career there. I mean, we have got a.
Wish him luck, and he's still only 18, 19.
Yeah.
Still so young.
And I think the good thing is we have got a sell-on fee. We announced in the, we announced on the club website. So as I said, it's in our interest he does well and gets a run of games.
On that note, that's Alfie Bendel. He's gone, but we are still here. We should have a big game this evening. And Stu, AFC Wimbledon, obviously big club, big community club, does lots of work in the local area and things like that. Means a lot of things to a lot of people. And I believe we have taken some views from some people closely connected with the club and what it means to them.
Everyone loves a goal, of course. That's football, that's the sport, but that's not what keeps AFC Wimbledon in your thoughts. That's not the only reason for your support, see. It's not the blinding top bins or this bright shiny stadium that we train in. It's not about the fair weather days, because half the time it's raining. It's not about the sliding scores or the crunching tackles, because you find the power of AFC Wimbledon in our hardest of battles. It's not about the winning. It's about standing in whatever the weather, singing, chanting, shouting for our team, our players, our brothers, our families, our neighbours. It's the pride of the play that keeps us turning up day after day. It's knowing that this club was built on the shoulders of its fans, and that with all of that strength there's nothing we can't withstand. With all of that pride that's holding us up and keeping us together, we can take any amount of pressure, because history is good, but legacy is better. As I said, it's not about the goals. It's about these precious moments that only we hold before a game commences, with all the fans with heightened senses, and even better if it's a floodlight game, where moths drawn to that football flame, the minutes tick, time stretches thin, heartbeats quicken as we share nervous grins. Amongst a sea of yellow and blue, the tension builds. Anticipation whips around the stadium and gives us chills. These generations of fans, together we stand, just waiting for the game to start. And when we hear that sounding whistle, there's a thunderous roar and it's official. We're all playing, we're all involved. It's a bustling hubbub, and that's what makes this club. On the same star for the same dream, and sure, we all want to see a better future. This season's tested all of our sense of humours, but let's not think about how things were. Despite ups and downs and transfers, we can turn from brother to sister, father to son, auntie to mum, and see the pride in their eyes. Knowing that we stand strong and united whatever might arise, knowing that when we shout there's always others to join our cries, because we are not alone. And when there's been recent times where we've been told to stay at home, we know just how much that statement means now. We are not alone. There's no magic spray that can fix the way that losses can break us, but it's the showing up day after day that makes us. That makes us the ones who remember orange slices at half time, or the ones who traded kicks with Ian Cook in a pastime. The ones who stood tall and refused to be moved are still the ones who are stood tall in our match queues. So really, there's no need to feel doomed. In fact, we can feel renewed and just continue to do, because that's what we've always done. So look forward and think of all of the fun and the laughs and the roller coasters of emotions to come. And whenever you lose that special glimmer of hope, think, would I have it any other way, with any other group of people? And is there any other home ground that I'd rather walk on? And remember how proud you are to be a Don.
Alright everyone, we are closing in on kick-off here then. AFC Wimbledon versus Coventry City in the first round of the Carabao Cup. Let's just do some predictions before we sign off. Stu, scoreline tonight? You were correct on the podcast with 0-0 at Grimsby, by the way.
I done well there, didn't I?
Well, you did well.
You never predict a 0-0 because you actually want a 0-0, but you don't want a 0-0 because
Yeah,
do you know what I mean, goals. I think we'll win on penalties tonight.
Right. Okay.
I don't know what the full-time score would be, but I think it'll be a penalties.
Go to penalties. Rob?
I think it's going to be a 1-1, and I do think it's going to go penalties. You know, Gus Hammer really worries me for Coventry. Looked very impressive against Leicester. But obviously we've got Ali Al-Hamadi, who's our top goal scorer last season, so we've got a threat up front as well. So I think 1-1 tonight.
Okay, we'll just see how it goes. Teams are out, as you can hear. iFollow is available for you for audio commentary if you want to listen to that. Otherwise, updates on Twitter at AFC Wimbledon and at 9 Wires Podcast. Enjoy the game. We'll see you again on Saturday.
The mic's off. This is off. And the mic's off then. Yeah.